Your old wounds don't get to run this new year. On Friday, January 2nd, Chiron goes direct in Aries, marking a wonderful turning point for us to be able to take what it is that we have been looking at and working on healing and really see some forward motion in this area. It's a wonderful energy. If for the past 5 months you've been doing some like internal work, or you have been focusing on doing your absolute best to tend to the needs of your wounds, then the wounded healer going direct in the first sign of the zodiac is hopefully going to help you with some forward movement in that space and that place. Let me read you the description from astrology.com so you can get an idea of what this energy is all about. Again, Chiron is going direct today in Aries. It has been retrograde since July 30th, and that is about 5 months' time that it's been in retrograde. It's now in Aries, and it will stay in Aries until June 18th. And then, of course, it will move into Taurus on the 19th. So we've got about 6 months of this beautiful wounded healer asteroid being direct in the first sign of the zodiac. The description says, with the wounded healer moving forward again, this is a great time to heal our inner child and care for our long ignored needs. As the healing begins, enter the year with a clean slate. Again, it feels really lovely to have this forward motion. If your wounds have been very apparent or been popping up for you, in order for you to recognize them, to take a look at them, to give them some attention, this forward motion now is meant to help you continue on that healing process, perhaps even speed it up, but we'll see, of course, what the cards give us. And I am going to pull from the healing mantra deck to give you a mantra. So there's a bit of a pick a card connected to this one as well. Let's see what our roll is. Wow. Okay. Double fours. Look at all that love, right? This is doubling down on protection, support, stability, security. It is double heart chakra energy, right? Your heart chakra is the fourth chakra. It's an 8 together, which is a symbol for infinity, knowing yourself really well, your limitless being, manifestation. And it just feels like, yeah, they want us to like double down on the healing, that it's going to move now. Also bringing a lot of love to the situation. I'm really loving that role. Feels supportive, to say the least. So let's get these shuffled up so we can see what the cards have to give us for guidance. Okay, and we'll go to the Oracle first. Ooh, card number 41, and Circle of Eternal Joy, timelessness, and the dance of life. This energy feels all encompassing. I love that we're getting the 4 roll along with the 1. Together, this is, of course, a 5, but, tuning into your heart center to find stability, tuning into this eternal joy energy, recognizing yourself with that 1 as timeless, really getting into experiencing the dance of life in a different way, I believe is what's happening here. Again, Chiron going direct gets us into a different frequency and a different kind of motion as we allow ourselves to tune into what still needs some nurturing, what still needs some healing, the healing journey that you're currently on. And this feels like they're giving us a hint as to how we can, I don't want to say speed it up, but how we can continue on that track. The Circle of Eternal Joy is recognizing that it's all right for you to tune into this kind of energy now, especially as it concerns any kind of healing work that you're doing around the wounds that you've sustained throughout your journey thus far. Uh, Interesting that they have this joyful and, I would say, lighter presence, being able to dance through life, if you will, recognizing your heart center and your timeless self or your divine self is a big part of this. Noting perhaps that some of the lessons that you are learning are connected to the woundings that you have experienced, and being able to move forward and heal them, to find joy again, to be able to be lighter of spirit again. Yeah, they're saying like we're turning the stuff that was really heavy. Think about dancing through life as opposed to like trudging and carrying a very heavy weight, or carrying something that feels very burdensome, that feels like wide open, very painful, very hurtful. Now the energy is lightening up so that we can be a part of and like consciously rejoin the circle of eternal joy. I want to say internal joy too, for some reason. The circle of eternal joy and internal joy. Yes, that timeless energy that constantly is connecting you to abundance and love and joy, no matter what you've been wounded by, or what's been going on, or what you've been struggling with, or what you've been challenged with. It's always right there for you to join again. It's like the circle never ends. It never goes anywhere, even when you're trudging, and even when you're struggling, or you're burdened, right? And so now I feel like we're getting lifted and shifted a bit here. Let's see what we have for the tarot to couple this energy. Ooh, the Four of Water. Interesting. Bit of an offering in the depiction of the card here. This is the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is always an interesting energy to read. In this particular depiction, you can see that she's literally offering you up one of these bubbles. This mermaid's offering up a bubble here. With the Four of Cups, it can sometimes be this feeling of nothing ever changing, like I'm just going to have to carry this in this way for the rest of my life. Is this ever going to change? Because it just feels heavy. It doesn't feel light. It hasn't felt easy to be able to carry this, or to be wounded in this way. But with the Four of Cups in a high expression, we're always going to be looking for the offering from the divine, or from the offering, for the offering of spirit. Here you can see the offering being made in the depiction. So that's what we want to lean into. Because Chiron is now in forward motion, or moving direct, it's going to be 6 months of us being able to look for these little miracles, look for these offerings from spirit that connect us to this joyful energy, that remind us of our timelessness, that remind us of our divine self, as I was saying before, and that make things, I think, a little more buoyant, a little lighter as you're continuing the healing process. It doesn't mean, oh, now you're healed and we're done, hooray. The healing will continue. It just feels like there's support that's showing up, heart-centered support, loving support. And by the way, it's another 4. So if you're seeing 4s around this time, or as you move through the month, just note that that is the presence of a stable and supportive higher power, or a higher force that wants to aid you. With a Four of Cups, I always tell people, make sure that you keep your blinders off. Don't put your blinders on, because you want to be able to recognize the help and the assistance and the miracles and the aha moments and the insights, in this case, that have to do with your healing process, that are popping up for you. And when we kind of tuck into ourselves, which we've been doing with Chiron in retrograde, when we tuck into ourselves for too long, or when we hit a marker like this and we continue to do that, we can miss these beautiful offerings of spirit, and that may come out of nowhere. You may not be expecting them, and they come anyway to help you or to aid you with forward motion on the healing process. So, now is the time to kind of come outside of yourself and be able to look around and to pay attention and to rejoin from internal joy to eternal joy. Rejoin that circle. Allow yourself to be a little lighter as you're moving through the healing process, is what I would say. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, they're saying like the divine will carry you. I got two, I think. Is it going to let go? Ooh. I mean, normally I would read this as a whale's tale, so perhaps for some of you, um, seeing a whale is it indicative of the healing journey taking place or the support that you're receiving. It may be connected to, yeah, the whale energy, which is deep and emotional, right? Deep and emotional and communicative. But the minute that I picked it up and noted what it was consciously, I just went right to the mermaid tale. So I think it's predominantly a reminder for us to look for the miracles, look for the offerings, make sure that you're not putting those blinders on and tucking into yourself or keeping your head down. Now's the time where we get to rise. We put our shoulders back and we raise our head and keep our eyes and ears and senses alert to what is aiding us to continue this healing with a much more, well, what I want to say is optimistic energy, hopeful energy, lighter, more smooth, perhaps, path forward. Yeah, we get to dance now instead of like trudge. There may have been a marker for you very recently or coming right up where you feel like you're able to set something down and kind of get the load off your shoulders a bit. Like if you've been carrying something very heavily, now you can set it down and be a bit more light of foot, light of spirit as you're moving forward. But yeah, I mean, if the whale means something to you, then I would look for whale's tails or look for whales as indication of this. Also paying attention to the fours for sure. And mermaids. I mean, it's a mermaid's tail. That's what I went to first. Very lovely energy, helping us to kind of tune into a higher frequency on our healing journey as we move forward with Chiron going direct. So I hope that this serves you. If you would like more information about the Capricorn season that we've got going on right now, lots of planets have moved into Capricorn here. I do have a Capricorn season pick a card. You can choose from 3 cards and then instantly watch your guidance for the beautiful, ambitious, and practical Capricorn season and get some insight from that. Also, it is just January, just barely here. We're on the 2nd. And if you'd like some personal insight for the month ahead, you can check out my January monthly personal reading with a focus on foundations where I look into your own personal guidance and messages for the start of 2026 and the first month of the year. You can go ahead and reserve yours if you'd like to do that. Of course, you'll find the links for those in the description. You can visit the Intuitive Astrology playlist anytime to keep up with all the astro guidance that's coming up. And I am going to do a pick a card now for you. So I want to set that up so that you can choose your card and your healing mantra. So I'll be back. All right, and I'm back with the deck. As you can see, these have words on the front of them for you to be able to choose from. So I'm going to give these a bit of a shuffle, and then I'll reveal the 4 cards. And we'll get into what the back of these cards have to give you for a mantra. They're also going to have me read from the guidebook for the message, which is interesting and lovely. Shuffling that 8. Okay, option number 1, inspiring others. And look at that, beautiful symbol there, inspiring others, option number 1. Option number 2, balancing the brain. So you want to ask about and think about your healing journey, what it is that you've been perhaps moving through, dealing with, struggling with, trying to heal, looking at healing, and see what just feels like it's resonating most with you at this time. What message or mantra do you need? Option number 3, rewiring the nervous system. Rewiring the nervous system. These cards are a little. And option number 4, unhooking the past. We've got quite a pretty display here of different color options as well. Let me make sure you can see all of those. And as always, take all the time you need. If you need to pause the video, of course, go ahead and do that. And then once you've made your selection, I'm going to put the links down in the description, or the timestamps down in the description for you. So you can just go down, click on your card, and then hop right to your mantra and your reading, or the messages that you're meant to receive for your healing journey moving forward. All right. Card option number 1, and inspiring others. If you've chosen this card for your healing messages and your mantra is, I help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts. Lovely. I want to see what the message has to say. They've asked me to read directly from the book, so that's what we're going to do. I got to find it here. And inspiring others. It says, when others are inspired, you allow them to take center stage and step into a greater acknowledgement of their personal power. When others are made to feel useful, they are likely to embrace more courageous decisions as their self-worth increases. Imagine the perfection of not having to do everything by yourself and infusing others with a greater sense of purpose just by asking for their help. It's not a matter of feeling weak or being incapable. Instead, it's about realizing the gift of inspiration you possess simply by inviting others to be part of your day. This mantra is ideal for increasing intimacy in relationships, resolving martyrdom, and communicating your needs. Amazing. All right, if you chose the second card, balancing the brain, your mantra is, I can be and do all at once. Lovely. There we go. All right, and we'll read from the book for you for your message, Balancing the Brain. And it says, when the brain is balanced, you are no longer bouncing back and forth between being and doing. You allow each action to be expressed from a space of mindfulness, peace, and ease. In a balanced brain, each inner battle has been won, which makes it easier to navigate around those whose minds are still entrenched in conflict. From this space, you are able to do all that needs to be done while operating from your soul's natural state of being. This mantra is ideal for reducing stress at work, being a more mindful parent, and increasing levels of accountability. Lovely. Okay, if you chose card option number 3 here, rewiring the nervous system, your mantra is, I find strength in surviving my traumas. And I will read your message here, rewiring your nervous system. It says, when the nervous system is rewired, you are no longer trapped in the memories of your body. You are the courageous hero or heroine of your present reality, honoring every moment of hardship as the means through which your infinite strength and greatest depth of character is revealed. As you rewire your nervous system, you are no longer responding to life from the vantage point of your painful past, but instead are open to each encounter being more miraculous than the moment before. This mantra is ideal for adjusting to life after loss, healing heartbreak, and becoming more optimistic. All of these are absolutely wonderful. Okay, and if you chose the 4th card option, Unhooking the Past, your mantra is, there is nothing to regret when I learn from my past. If for some reason you felt called to, like, the two last ones, these feel like they go together for sure. I mean, they could all go together, I suppose, but I just wanted to make that note. They said, they're similar energies. Okay, let me read your message from the book, Unhooking the Past. It says, when you unhook the past, you are able to see crucial moments of growth from fresh perspectives. This allows you to see the mistakes of your past as catalysts for development, not as something you did wrong. It is an opportunity to see how your previous actions could have been better aligned with your highest values. When you learn today the things you didn't know before, you are able to meet your current circumstances with renewed clarity, so the past can be unhooked instead of repeated. This mantra is ideal for overcoming self-criticism, releasing shame, and being more open-minded. I hope that this serves you for the energy that is being called in for us for this aspect. And thank you so much for watching.